folks. Thanks for coming on with us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so discussing techniques to help you cross-sell to build your book of business with our featured guest from Medico. Today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with much of the material that we'll reference statistically through the course of the presentation, will be sent to everyone who RSVP'd to today's meeting. A bit of administrative back work. If you have some questions, put them in the question box in the software. We have some challenges with feedback if we open up the lines to general questions otherwise, and we want to make certain that if we don't address everything through the course of the presentation, we make certain to take care of it in the follow-up that goes out. And I'm pulling up the question box just so I don't miss anything. A bit of information to begin with about our organization. Premier Marketing is a national marketing organization founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity Marketing Platform with offices across the country. We act as an insurance wholesaler, providing insurance services to the public through independent insurance agents such as yourself. And the contracts that we offer are at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. As I mentioned, being founded in 1968, we recently celebrated a milestone in our history, and that's our 50th anniversary. And we take great pride in that. For what began as a small family agency in rural Nebraska has become one of the largest marketing organizations of its type in the country. We do so through a full portfolio of products that include the basics that are needed for the Medicare programs, the Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and standalone Part D prescription drug programs. We also have a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, including final expense and pre-need programs. We also offer long-term and short-term care products, disability income, and ancillary benefits, including dental, vision, hearing programs, critical illness cancer plans, and hospital indemnity programs. Those Medicare Advantage programs include all of the national carriers and many of the regional carriers that can make a difference for you in your market. And that same philosophy carries over into the standalone Part D prescription drug plans, where all the national carriers are available to you through our organization. Our Medicare Supplement portfolio is very large, and it, like the Medicare Advantage and prescription drug programs, has specific tools created available without cost to our agents to help them be successful in this space. When you look at the ancillary products, in each of those categories, you have the leaders in those programs that are necessary to help fulfill the financial need of our prospects and clients, regardless of your base medical programs. When we look at the Medicare market overall, it's got a language all of itself. So if you'd like one of these acronym translators, I'll be happy to send this to you. Keep in mind, either of them are very large in scale, so they won't come with the regular follow-up that we send. It would have to be in a second email communication. But it helps us understand then the language we share and don't quite understand with our brethren within the industry, and also the folks that we serve as prospects and clients. Don't come on a presentation like today without someone speaking to you about the aging of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami, whatever you want to call it, where people are turning 65, 10,000 people a day turning 65, one every 10 seconds. But if you look at just the folks over 65 as your market, you're not looking at the true number, because there is a small percentage that turn 65 and don't access their Medicare benefits right away. But there's a much larger population that qualifies for Medicare based on disability. That's about 1/6 of the population that's under the age of 65. Many of the programs that we speak of today that Medico will reference for us in their presentation can be applied to this population as well. So even though many of us may specialize in the Medicare space, we have within that a difference in age distinction, and I want to make certain that we're all aware of that. It makes for a very varied population that we serve. It's a precursor for a need to have a full portfolio of products, not just in the base products, but in the ancillary world, because these folks have some challenges with their health. 2/3 of them have 3+ chronic conditions. 80+% of them have at least one chronic condition. In addition, their income and savings can be a bit handicapped as well. So making available to them programs that can help them properly budget and address their needs serves a big purpose as to what we do. Oops. And we like to make certain that we keep things interesting. When folks go on to Medicare, obviously they've got choices to make. An old sales manager of mine many, many years ago with Prudential used to say, the decision to make a decision is a decision. The first decision for a person coming eligible for Medicare, do I pick up Part B? Most do. Most understand why. And then some folks will choose to completely self-insure for any other cost, or the majority, will pick up a Part D program to help with their medications. Some will take out a standardized, modernized Medicare supplement program to cover shortfall in medical cost. Some will go the Medicare Advantage or Part C route to do that. In each of these decisions that they make, they have a need for additional programs and additional counsel. And so we want to make certain that we take care of these folks, because as they come into Medicare, and you'll notice on this slide, it doesn't say just age-ins, it includes the late to Medicare seniors. They're making nearly an even split through their choices on their base coverages, and some aren't doing, well, it appears to be, nothing at all. They may have other coverages, however, in here that come in to group or Medicaid or some other type of coverages that eliminate the need for the other choices. But in each case, we can honestly say that anything we can do to engage these individuals and help them cover their financial tuchus is a good thing. Because remember, one size doesn't fit all. Much as when we go into a doctor, they don't automatically just give us a shot or a pill. They talk to us, they do a fact finder, they do tests, much as what we should do when we encounter our prospects and clients, and make certain that we are giving them the information they need. And one of those pieces that changes year over year into 2020 is the macro legislation that was passed clear back in 2015 that doesn't allow a newly eligible to pick up a C or an F plan on a standardized scale. So we need to be aware of that and make certain that folks that are eligible for those, and that's anyone who was on Medicare before the first of the year, still have that choice. Medico does a really good job in giving us some additional information to help explain this. And not only explain it, but for us to understand it as well. So this is part of the tools that will be sent to you as follow-up to today's presentation as well. What we have here too is finally the point that you've been waiting for, an opportunity for John to be still and for our guest speaker to come on and help us cross-sell to build our business. Today we have as our guest speaker Kelly Rayburn. She's a sales director with Medico, and as I look to find the controls, I am remoting in a little different situation. We're all adapting. I'm going to turn control over to Kelly and let her give us the honest truth as to what we can do with Medico to sell more in this time as well. So Kelly, you should be receiving control of the screens.
Well, I appreciate that. I haven't received a little blurb yet to let me know that that's happening. But if it doesn't happen, John, for some reason, I'm just going to say next slide and you can flip. I don't see it yet.
Okay. Yeah, it gave up. It's telling me I gave control to you, but it isn't doing it. My apologies, and we might have to go with the infamous next.
That's all right with me, if that's okay with you. Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody. And thank you, John, for allowing me to come in and talk to your team. I really do appreciate that. My name is Kelly Rayburn, and I'm actually the head of the Medico sales team. And just to kind of give you a background, I have been an agent, a licensed agent for the last 25 years. My anniversary is in August, so it's coming up quickly. I live in the middle of the United States in Indiana, so if you wonder why I don't have an accent for any, like, that's the reason why, because I have no accent. I'm an Indianian, what we affectionately refer to as Hoosiers. So I'm going to kind of talk to you today, if you want to do the next slide, about the 3 Ps of Medico. So first of all, we're going to go over the products part, but people are our main concern. We know that the people that you service and who you are as the agent, we want to make sure that everyone is feeling valued whenever they're doing business with Medico. We offer products that are really going to help our customers live better lives and feel more confident, and really cover that financial security. So we have products from all different ways that you can be able to cross-sell, but also all product offerings that will be able to help cover a client. And then we offer a platform that allows us to work with customers the way they want to do business. And we're going to kind of go through that because we try to make doing business with us as easy as possible. If you want to go to the next slide. So as you continue to go through your sales process, one of the things that's really important for an agent to understand is the stickiness of a client, right? Because you may get your first sale with the first client and you've got one product in the household. That doesn't guarantee they're going to be completely loyal to you. So if they have one product in the household, the chances of them being persistent with you over the course of 5 years is 35%. But if you have 2 products, as you can see, that's going to jump up in the persistency of over 50% for them to remain with you as their trusted advisor. And Chase has done it the best. If you have 3 or more products in a household, well over 90% that client is going to be yours for a lifetime. You want to go to the next slide. So the solution that you have is mostly likely already filled with their current healthcare plan, but that only fills part of their need, right? Their current healthcare only fills part of their need. So some healthcare plans, they have copays for dental. What if your client gets diagnosed with cancer? Depends on what type of healthcare plan they have. Even a med sup will have some out-of-pockets based on dental, cancer, or even a hospital stay. So we're going to talk about those 3 products specifically and how you can cover those risks for that client as we continue to move forward. So as you know, the growing opportunity in the senior market, as John had mentioned, is 65. The people turning 65 is 10 to 11,000 every single day. 10 to 11,000 people celebrating a birthday every single day. So the first thing that tells me is not only are we going to have more Medicare beneficiaries in the market, especially over the course of the next decade, where that's going to crest at that 80 million mark. However, that one thing should tell you that you're not going to have a shortage of clients as you continue to do business in this senior market. And Medicare Advantage is growing at a faster rate than Medicare Supplement. I just want to let you know that by 8% year over year. So as you think about that, what is the one reason why people are electing the Med Advantage plan more and more and more in the market? Well, we all know that the reason is premium. It's out of pocket on monthly costs. But what does the Med Advantage plan truly do? It opens your client up for risk. Okay, next slide. So let's really put the number of beneficiaries into perspective. Again, 10 to 11,000 boomers turning 65 every day over the next 15 years. So today's group makes up about 15% of the population, only 15%, right? The boomers just started turning 65 here in the last 7 years, I think, 8 years. So by 2030, 20% of the population is expected to be in that Medicare beneficiary. Again, that's 80 million beneficiaries in the next decade. But let's jump forward 30 years. 30 additional years when I'm getting ready to retire, John's getting ready to retire. Look at the population of the U.S. being 23% of 65 and older, which is 65 Medicare beneficiaries, 23% of the U.S. population. That's big. That's a big number. So let's keep moving forward. There is a healthcare plan out there for everybody, and it could be one of many. It could be a MedSup option, like I mentioned. It could be that MA, which is continuing to grow faster than those MedSup options, or it could be no option at all outside of their AB that the government offers them. So this topic is where customers really want advice. What do they really need to do? So offering them a Medicare 101 is a great door opener for you. If you're not in the senior market or you don't work in that senior market, this is a great opportunity for you to educate yourself and so that you can educate clients, even if you don't specialize in it right now, right? So you're already helping a customer understand what network restrictions look like, what out-of-pocket expenses and deductibles look like, and many other factors that go into deciding what type of healthcare plan to choose, like choosing a doctor and choosing a timeline for how to change plans. So our Medicare supplement plan, if you want to go ahead and move forward, our Medicare supplement plan is not offered nationally. We do offer in about 20, I think we have 28 states right now, and the states that you're seeing in dark blue are where we offer a Medicare supplement plan that offers also a household discount. Now, a lot of times agents that are contracted with us love the definition of our household discount. As you can see from certain states, it goes between 7% to 12%. Some of those say rate classes, so I have seen them in the 20%. That household discount states, and it's down there in a little teeny tiny print in the lower side of that slide, says an applicant must live in the household with someone else over the age of 18. It does not say two people applying. It does not give an age restriction outside of the fact that the other person has to be a legal adult. Just one other person living in the house with someone over the age of 18, the household discount can apply to that applicant. Now, if you move forward, we understand as agents that there are multiple different types of plans that are offered. Plan F, Plan G, and Plan N are the most popular, right? So you're familiar with these types of plans, and each one has its own benefits that it brings to the table. But there's multiple options to really fit pretty much every customer's need and potentially save on monthly premiums. On a national level, approximately 65% of the Medicare supplement customers that are out there are enrolled in a Plan F. But you have to remember, the cohort B, which is the ones that are newly eligible moving forward from January 1st, that option is no longer available. So we're seeing a fast increase in plans of G and N. Right now, Plan G is about is growing at a rate of 31% year over year. Plan N is about 12% year over year. So they offer a lower premium option for MedSup for the client that's going to purchase a MedSup. Now, the main difference between a G and the N is the Part B is not covered. That Part B deductible, which in 2020 is $195. So Plan N and Plan G, that Part B deductible is not covered. And a Plan N doesn't cover the Part B excess charge. Now, physicians that do accept Medicare typically have the option to charge 15% over the Medicare approved amount for services. That's likely not going to happen between you, me, and the fence post in this recorded webinar. It's likely not going to happen. Co-payments range anywhere between $20 for an office visit up to about $50 for an ER visit. So these options really allow you to work with your customer and to consider their preferences and offer options with premium savings the savings average anywhere between $45 and $55 a month, which brings us to an awesome opportunity to cross-sell to really complete their plan. And we're going to talk about how to complete those plans here in a minute. So next slide, please. So when you have the opportunity to save your clients on a monthly premium, you really want to highlight those savings and suggest that they can use that money to help buy maybe a dental plan. Because a dental vision and hearing plan, just on the comprehensive dental vision and hearing plan, is going to cost about an average of $35 a month. So, and that's for usually about $1,000 in annual benefit. So this can provide your clients with a very well-rounded coverage. And that second policy in the household, as we discussed earlier in a different slide, really increases their stickiness to you. It's all about loyalty, right? At this point, you could also offer them a hospital indemnity or a cancer plan in place of that dental policy, depending on what your client's specific needs. A lot of times, agents really think that they don't need to offer a hospital indemnity plan to a MedSup client, but we are finding more and more MedSup clients are actually adding the hospital indemnity to their health care as a cross-sale simply because of the riders that are offered. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So let's look at what Medico provides you just to make it easy as a cross-sell tool. So as the next slide will show you, we have a great opportunity as a contracted agent to be able to use the My Enroller. So the My Enroller, go ahead and go forward. There you go. So the My Enroller actually will allow you to cross-sell, quote, and app at the time you're talking to the client. And it's a perfect tool right now with the temperature in the market, basically around the COVID. We're all stuck in the house, right? We're stuck in trying to get this thing under control, and you don't have the option to go out and meet with those clients face to face. Trust me, I like the client interaction. I love the human interaction with different people across the table. But a phone sale is a lot easier and more efficient, and you can do more of them per day than seeing face to face. So right now, just strap it on and look forward into making this a good opportunity for you to go back and cross-sell. And using My Enroller, which is the tool that Medico offers, is a great opportunity. It offers different payment options. So not only do we offer the direct bill, the electronic funds transfer, the EFT, but we also take bank cards. So if they have a MasterCard Visa logo, we can actually use that as premium. It is a PCI compliant software. So that's really nice. It also offers you the most up-to-date rates, the most up-to-date forms. If something is excluded or included in a state, it's going to let you know that, or it's going to Z it out for you. So the next slide will tell you, are you putting your senior clients at risk by not talking about dental insurance? The answer to that is absolutely, because we all know that health issues sometimes start in the mouth. If they have a bad mouth, it's going to lead to something later. And 70% of Medicare recipients don't have any sort of dental coverage, especially after retirement. Why? Because they don't even know that it's an option. So cost is the number one reason that when they figure it out, cost is the number one reason why adults haven't gone to the dentist in the last year. It's expensive. And if they have rolled off of their group insurance because now they're enjoying their retirement stuck in the house, which is hilarious to think about all that all in one sentence. But if they're enjoying their retirement and they don't have dental insurance, other health risks can come on. So this chart right here on this slide shows you the average cost of dental services across the country. So dentures costing around $2,200, crowns costing around $1,500, root canals right around $1,100, fillings about $300, and even cleanings coming out of pocket is $100. On average $130 a visit. I live in, like I told you, Indianapolis, and my dentist is well over $130 for a cleaning, especially on my 15-year-old. So no wonder seniors don't go see the dentist within 12 months, right? And it's recommended. We're supposed to go every 6 months to get our mouths cleaned, and also, the yucky fluoride and everything else that goes with it. Now, you're going to see right here on this particular slide our complete dental portfolio. So the dental-only portfolio is just that. It's only dental alone. So it's $1,000 of annual benefit for cleanings, fillings, x-rays, possibly needing a crown later on, but it doesn't offer any of the bells and whistles. It's a very generic, basic type of plan, and it's a great plan to offer if someone's just looking to keep their mouth clean. But you'll see the big red circle that hovers over the DVH plans. There's 2 DVH options to choose from, and DVH stands for dental, vision, and hearing. We have a $1,000 annual benefit or a $1,500 annual benefit plan, and as you can see, the longer the client holds on to the plan, the more of the risk we, Medico, are willing to take on. So the first year coverage is 60-40, second year 70-30, the third year goes to an 80-20, and it stays there. Okay, but these plans also offer that same graduated coverage based on vision and hearing. So just like John and I, you didn't see them in my picture, but I saw them in John's earlier, we wear glasses. So if I was going in to talk to somebody that looked just like me, or if I knew that somebody was just like me, do you wear glasses? Do you wear contacts? Absolutely. The vision is something that you're going to want to add. And if you hear somebody on the phone saying, probably going to need some hearing a hearing exam or a possible hearing aid later. So good plans to have, very nice rates across the board. It's also age banded, just so that you're clear. Now, the right side of the screen shows our Dental Plus. There is some states that are excluded in our Dental Plus. The Department of Insurance in those states did not like our Dental Plus products, so they didn't offer it, although other states that didn't offer that do have the DVH comprehensive plans. But the Dental Plus plan is for those that have probably a need for implants later on down the road. Okay, it's true 80-20 plan after the wait periods. It offers the vision and the hearing, but it is for someone that knows that they're going to need major services. So we're going to go to the next slide because it's going to talk about the network. Medico has an open network, and maybe I should use the words passive network instead. What that means is the dentist in the Carrington network will offer a policyholder a discount at the point of sale. Okay, so they get a discount at the point of sale if they see a dentist in the Carrington network. However, they don't have to go to a Carrington dentist to be able to receive coverage under the Medico plan. They can go to any dentist that they want. I love my dentist. His name is Dr. Ward. I already told you he overcharges me for my cleanings, but I do love him and I won't leave him. He's been with my family as long as I've been with my family, so 15 years, right? And I wouldn't leave him. Even if I retired and he was no longer in my network, I would continue to go to see him and I would continue to pay what he is charging me. So it's really nice. It gives your policyholders an option to not have to go in network. Now the rates are going to be on the next slide. And as you will see, the rates I showed you are about an average of $35. And that's for someone that has just retired or become Medicare eligible up to the age of 79 with a DVH plan of $1,000 of annual benefit. It's roughly about $35 a month. And you can see how that average of $35 a month in that age band works in the other age bands. And you can also see that this is a product that you can sell pretty much to anyone that you talk to from the ages of 18 all the way up to the ages of 89. It's a great plan. Now the next slide is going to show you the savings example. How can you help them understand why a standalone plan is necessary? Well, if they're on Medicare, Medicare Advantage, or a Medicare supplement, here's how you can sell the dental, vision, and hearing to those three types of clients. Well, Mr. Client, if you have 2 cleanings every single year, you're going to pay about $240 across the board. After your $100 deductible with your current Medico hospital or your current Medico dental, vision, and hearing plan, that's going to be roughly about $48. A filling is going to cost you about $250 on average. After that wait period, it's only going to cost you $100 with the dental, vision, and hearing. And you can see here how you can have that conversation. So the average savings that you are going to share with your client is roughly about $1,000, almost $2,000 based on the plan. And they're only coming out of pocket about $420 to $450 a year on average for premiums. Now on the next slide, because it's always about the money, let's talk about commission on dental, vision, and hearing. If you're not selling it right now, consider it. Because if you only sold one of our $1,000 annual benefit DVH plans every single week, just one, every single week, your average commission is going to raise approximately $10,000 on an annual basis. Just one every week. I'm sure you're talking to more than just one client every single day right now. All right, so we're going to get off the money conversation, but we'll come back to it. So the hospital indemnity with our organization is one of my absolute favorite products. I get really jazzed whenever I talk about this product, and you're going to find that because I'm going to even speak faster than what I already speak because it's exciting to me. We developed this product as a comprehensive product to really follow along the lines of the controlled environment of the MA and its increase of enrollment. Okay? However, you can sell this between the ages of 40 and 85 to anyone. ACA, major medical, no health care plan whatsoever, MedSup, Med Advantage. But again, we've already mentioned that the number of Med Advantage enrollees are growing faster. They're growing so fast that 34% of people in 2018 were already enrolled in Med Advantage, and it's going to continue to increase. They're expecting the number to be 42% in the next decade that are going to be enrolled in Med Advantage. Now remember, it's not just Med Advantage and it's not just Med Sup. Some people don't even elect a healthcare coverage. So you also have those people that you can talk to. So what kind of opportunity does this actually present to you? Well, a lot, because we also know that the maximum out of pocket is increasing too. So according to Kaiser Family Foundation, the average out of pocket for a Medicare Advantage plan in 2018 was just shy of $5,200. And that has increased, as you can see from the slide. From 2011, the average out of pocket was 43, and now to 2018 at 52. That's a massive increase in out of pocket. What does that mean? Zero premium means high financial risk for your client if something happens to them. My dad is a Med Advantage. He is $6,700 out of pocket with this plan. If something happens to him, he's not going to be able to take my mother on their winter siesta on February, March, I guess they leave the end of January. They're not going to be able to go to the villages because he's going to wipe them out of their savings because they're on a fixed budget to be able to get there in the first place. So why is it important for you to help manage the expense gaps for your clients? Well, on the next slide, I'm going to show you, because remember I told you as a financial security product, here's the reason why we do it. So this is actually the Harvard Chan School. So it's a school within Harvard. The NPR, and then there was a third entity, and I can't recall who it is. They polled 2,000 adults 2 years after a hospital stay, and this was the statistic based on their financial security. 44% of people in that 2,000 had to set up a payment plan just to be able to cover that hospital stay. 42% of people had to spend most or all of their personal savings. And just on a side note, the average get-to savings of a 65-plus household is less than $6,000. That's what they have in their bank. Their ABC bank, that they have their checking and their savings account, what I call, in air quotes, get-to savings is less than $6,000, not including their retirement, because Lord knows if they had to pull out of their retirement, they're going to have to pull out more money. They're going to have to pay taxes on it, and it's a down market right now. It's going to cost them a lot more to pull it out of their retirement. So 27% were unable to pay for basic necessities like food, heat, housing, car payments, insurance premiums. 23% of people had to take on credit card debt that was really hard to pay back, because Lord knows we do not need additional credit card debt in this nation. We are up and above what we should be spending. And 7% of that 2,000 people polled had to file bankruptcy. 140 people out of 2,000 had to file bankruptcy based on a hospital stay from 2 years prior. So let's look at the plan. On the next screen, you're going to see 5 basic points. Those 5 basic points are the base plan. So when your client enrolls in a hospital indemnity, this is what they get. They get all of these things, okay? The first bubble is customizable to your client. That is the inpatient stay. So they have the opportunity, because our inpatient hospital confinement pays down to the very first day. They can max out their days at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 21, or 31. 31 is what is in Florida, okay? And you can customize their daily benefit between $100 and $600 a day in $25 increments. It can get really super specific. Why do we customize that? Because that is what is going to drive the fulfillment of the out-of-pocket costs based on their MA plan. That is what is going to be their indemnity whole dollar coming back to them in a claim. That is also going to drive the budget for the hospital indemnity plan, okay? And the inpatient also comes with a lifetime restoration, which means as long as premiums are paid and the client stays out of the hospital for 60 continuous days or longer, I am going to restore that benefit for a lifetime, which means when they go to the hospital, every time they can use our plan, because it's not a matter of if a senior goes to the hospital, it's a matter of when and how many times. Now you're going to see a red bubble around the observation, and this is what is going to drive your base plan, and here's the reason why. because hospitals are coding more and more people under observation, more and more every day. And the reason why they do that is because prior to 2017, hospitals were federally funded simply on how they intake a patient and how they get them discharged. They were turning and burning, right? That's how they get graded. That's how they get their money. So what they were then doing is realizing that people just could get coded under observation, and that did not go against their hospital-funded grade card. So they were coding people under observation. Well, in 2017, the federal government got wind of that, and they made hospitals tell clients whether they were being coded under inpatient or observation. Well, for the senior client, that's very important because a senior client could have the need to go to skilled care, and that's going to require an inpatient stay and a doctor recommendation. But under the observation, we're going to pay 100% of the inpatient daily benefit amount up to 6 calendar days per year, no minimum or maximum hours required. Our closest competitor requires either a 12-hour stay to get 50% or a 24-hour stay to get 100%. We do not have that hour limitation. So my next door neighbor, Christy, she went into the hospital, was put under observation for a blood clot. She was there for 2 days. If she would have had a $300 daily benefit, we would have paid her a claim check while she was under observation for $600. If she would have been in there for 4 hours, I would have given her a whole day at $300. So it really offsets their costs put under observation. Now, the emergency room states that we're going to pay $150 a day for 4 calendar days per year to cover any loss due to illness or injury. They have to be admitted, so that middle emergency room must slide up into an inpatient for them to be able to state that claim. The inpatient mental health benefit states that we're going to pay $175 a day for 7 calendar days per year. That's if they need to go into an inpatient hospital for a mental illness or a stress anxiety disorder. And Lord knows right now with this COVID going on, we're going to see a ripple effect based on that intake here pretty soon. The next couple of years are going to be really hard on people, especially with the fact that they're going unemployed. Businesses are going to be shutting down. Their own businesses are going to be shutting down. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Now, the travel and lodging states is also unique, as that's the reason why the red bubble is around it. States that will pay $100 for our 10 calendar days per year if a policyholder needs to travel more than 50 miles from their resident to receive care. Why is that important? Think about people that are diagnosed with cancer. Typically, oncology hospitals are not in their backyard. Heart hospitals, for those that might have a severe heart attack, aren't in their backyard. Think about the people that are living on the west side of Nebraska. Coming into Lincoln or coming into Omaha, that's a hefty drive. It's a heck of a lot longer than 50 miles. So people that might need a general hospital that live outside of 50 miles, we're going to help cover the cost based on the expense to get to that hospital. So that is the base plan. That's what we offer everyone. Now, we're going to talk about some optional riders on the next screen. We do have optional riders that are absolutely fabulous. The one rider that we see that is added the majority of the time is the ambulance rider. It states that we're going to pay $250 a day for up to 4 calendar days per year, lifetime max of $2,500. Now, I want to take one word and I want to twist it for you. 4 days. Okay, let's talk about the word days. Let's use the word rides. If I come out of my house, I slip and fall on my deck because it's still a little wet outside here in the great state of Indiana. We haven't jumped into the spring as much as we would want to, and I hurt my bum, and the ambulance comes and picks me up and takes me to a hospital, and all of a sudden that hospital is a COVID positive hospital, and that I can't go in there because I'm not COVID positive, so they throw me back in the ambulance and they take me to the next hospital that's a COVID negative hospital, and they drop me off there. That's considered 2 rides. So that would be 2 out of my 4 rides. I would be able to claim $500. Now, the outpatient therapy and chiropractic services state will pay $50 a day for either 15 or 30 days per calendar year for physical, occupational, or speech therapy. Must be doctor recommended. And we offer 5 days of chiropractic. Again, it must be doctor recommended, but does not require a hospital stay to be able to claim against it, just doctor recommended. The outpatient surgery rider, probably one of my favorites, is actually $250, $500, $750, and $1,000 per day for 2 calendar days per year for outpatient surgery. Now, here's a couple for example. Colonoscopies. Colonoscopies, people walk into an outpatient surgery center, typically a colon center, and they are put to sleep and they have their colonoscopy and they may or may not have polyps removed, right? Usually people over 50 are doing this, right? Okay, if polyps are removed, it's definitely surgery. If polyps aren't removed, it's definitely surgery, especially since they're being put under. So colonoscopies are covered under that outpatient surgery. Something else that's covered under our outpatient surgery is cataracts. For the senior market, that's very important. The majority of people have cataracts removed, and if they have the right eye cataract removed, they're most likely going to have a left eye cataract removed a couple weeks later. That's 2 calendar days per year. We would pay that claim on the cataract. Okay, another example happened to my husband here a couple of years ago. He had some basal cell carcinoma removed off his beautiful face. Now he looks like a boxer. That was covered under the outpatient surgery rider. So it was wonderful. So not only did healthcare pick it up, but we got a little extra money in our pocket to be able to cover during the time that he was recovering. The skilled nursing rider states that we'll pay $100, $150, or $200 a day for days 1 through 50. Plus, this rider actually has a restoration on it. A little different than the hospital confinement benefit restoration, but it does state that if a client stays out of skilled nursing care or out of a skilled nursing facility for 180 days or longer, we're going to restore this rider back to them one time. We're going to go through a scenario a little bit later, and I'm going to kind of share with you why and how that works. But why do we cover days 1 through 50 when most Med Advantage plans pay for days 1 through 20? Well, you have to remember, it's not only the Med Advantage plan enrollees that can use our hospital indemnity and specifically this rider, because you can sell it down to the age of 40. So let's talk about the Med Advantage, okay? The Med Advantage, if they pay for days 1 through 20 and they happen to be in a skilled nursing facility, what's happening at home? There's likely a loved one that's at home that needs some care as well. Maybe they need food, maybe they need to pay a house payment, whatever the case may be. And let's say that person's in skilled nursing is their sole wage earner of that family. Or let's say the person in skilled nursing has to, maybe they have to extend their days past 50. Gives them that extra flexibility to make some decisions. The lump sum cancer rider has a 2-year look back. We have dollar amounts ranging from $1,000 to $10,000 a year for a first diagnosis cancer. Now, don't let the words first diagnosis cancer mess with you too much, because it doesn't have to be the very first time. It just needs to be the first time that they're claiming against the rider. Okay, so that's for an internal cancer or malignant melanoma. If they've had cancer in the past, as long as they're cancer-free for 2 years, they can take out that rider. The urgent care rider, $50 a day for 4 calendar days per year. Typically, people that go to the urgent care are those that don't have a need to go to the emergency room, but do have the need to see a medical professional about whatever is ailing them at the time. And then the lump sum hospital confinement rider, most expensive rider that we offer, but it does offer a lump sum based on the number of confinements. Where do we see that included? On a very small amount of our policies, and we see it on mostly elderly female single policyholders, just because they have bills, right? So that's where we see that. Now, let's look at the value of the plan. So on the next screen, you're going to see a plan value chart. The average premium, just to kind of give you an idea, with the base plan with some riders is between $25 and $35 per month. And you're going to look at me and go, but Kelly, this screen shows a $58 premium. Well, yes, but it's chocked full of riders. Every rider that I have plus the base plan is included. So let's break it down. The first line, which is the inpatient observation 6-day benefit for $300 a day for $16, is the base plan. That's the hospital confinement, that's the observation, that's the ER, that's the inpatient mental health, and that's also the travel and lodging. For $16, that's the base plan. I told you that the ambulance rider was the one we see the majority of the time. $3. You're not even at the average yet. The outpatient surgery, which is my favorite rider, $6.60. The outpatient rehab and chiropractic, $4.39. Skilled nursing, fastest growing rider. The skilled nursing is the fastest growing rider. And you can see from the screen, I picked right in the middle at $150 per day payout. It's $11. Okay, cancer, $8.42 for $5,000 worth of coverage. That's great for an out-of-pocket if someone gets diagnosed with a cancer. urgent care is just less than $4, and then I added the hospital confinement just at a small one confinement for $250. So the average premium here shows $58, but that is an all-in. I've pushed every chip in across the table, but you can also see what that first payout would be: $16,550 if someone was diagnosed with cancer. And the reason why they would have to be diagnosed with cancer is because the cancer rider is showing a payout. All right. So let's say, for instance, this particular client having premium of $58 a year had this plan for 3 years. Okay. So that is, and on just with this plan alone for 3 years prior to any payout happening, and let's say this is the first potential payout, that's about $2,100 in premium that they would have paid. $2,100 in premium over 3 years. They've never used it, and the first time they use it, their claim could potentially be $16,000 based on this value chart right here. All right, so I've beat that as a dead horse. So let's go to the next slide, because now you're going to ask me about how underwriting looks. We have a short application. It has 9 knockout questions. We do have a pre-existing condition limitation that states that if it's not a knockout pre-existing, we are going to exclude it from claim for the first 6 months of the policy. So let's just say like the flu, something to that effect. And then the 2-year contestability period. The 2-year contestability period states that if someone files a claim within the first 2 years, we're going to go back and pull all the medical records to make sure the knockout questions were answered correctly. For a list of the knockout questions, make sure that you get in touch with John. Now, it does come with the 7% household discount. So this is going to be on the next screen. The 7% household discount states that if the client lives in the household with someone else over the age of 18, they can receive a discount based on their application. Again, you can market it to the ages of 40 to 85, and guess what? There's no obtained age premium adjustments, and there's no policy fee. So who can you sell it to? Because you don't only sell it to the Med Advantage. Like I told you, you can sell it to multiple people, different types of people with different types of health care. So yes, it's great to provide a full coverage package for your MA client, really wrap them. And you can see here where the riders are that we see the majority of the time. Premiums are roughly between $23 and $25. But the Med Sup client really likes the rider. So they drive the premium of the base plan down, and they increase the opportunity for riders. You can see the skilled nursing rider is a very low level at $100. We did include the cancer rider because you and I all know, right, that 40% of a cancer diagnosis is going to be in the direct cost of the diagnosis. 60% of the cost is going to be based on the indirect cost. So in this case, they're looking more along the indirect cost. So for $20, $21 a month, they can be covered based on that, on our riders. And then to be able to provide some coverage for those that don't have a Med Advantage or a Med Sup, maybe it's a major medical, ACA, or somebody that just elected Part A and B, you can offer them a high comprehensive hospital indemnity for about $45 per month. Now, I told you that I was going to offer you a scenario, and that's going to be here on the next screen. So here's my wonderful lady, and I think they put it in for me because I started giving people, you know, a karma stroke, I guess, and I'm using air quotes, when I did live presentations. So I said, we'll not do that anymore. Let's come up with a fictitious scenario. And here's my lovely grandma. She's 70 years old. She has 8 grandchildren. She likes to shower them with presents, but she happens to slip and fall in the snow in January. Okay. So her unexpected injury resulted in a 5-day hospital stay and 20 days in skilled nursing. And that hospital had to be 50 miles from her house because let's say she was in the plains of Nebraska. All right. So coming out of pocket, she would have had to pay $360 a day for those 5 days she was in the hospital. So it's $1,800. She went to the emergency room because that's where the ambulance dropped her off. So it was $50 for the emergency room. The ambulance doesn't drop you off the front door. They drop you off the emergency room. That ambulance visit or ambulance ride cost her $200, and those 20 days in skilled nursing cost her $2,400 on a $120 per day charge. Now, John is such a fabulous agent that John sold Anna a Medico hospital indemnity, and he used that vision sheet on the right side. It's called our worksheet. It's a great visual aid. He spelled it all out for Anna, and Anna said, you know what, I have a budget. I have a budget. And John said, that's fine. We're going to fit it into your budget. And so they only chose $250 per day. So we were only going to cover her on her claim for $1,250, but she also went to the emergency room, so that was part of her claim on the base plan, $150. It was also, the hospital was more than 50 miles from her home in Nebraska, so we gave her travel and lodging because she was there for 5 days, so it was $500, plus the ambulance actually had to take her. She didn't have any other way to get there, so she had an ambulance ride of $250 in claim, and she had the skilled nursing for those $20, or for those 20 days. And John was smart enough to offer her the skilled nursing, said, you know what, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So let's just offer it on a very minimal level, and we'll just do $100 a day. So her claim check from Medico would have been $4,150. Now, if you recall, on the Abacus screen, on the next screen is going to show you the difference. Remember, her out-of-pocket was going to be $4,450 with no hospital indemnity coverage. But John sold her that hospital indemnity. The claim was going to be paid back for $41.50. So her total out-of-pocket for her unexpected injury was $300. Now, you know that Anna was 70, so let's say John was really smart, sold it to her when she was 65, when she aged in, okay? And her premiums were roughly about $30 a month. So $30 a month, or let's say 25, I can do math better at 25. $25 a month would give you $300 annually. $300 annually times 5 years that she would have been paying for, it's $1,500. So Anna's first claim on her hospital indemnity being $4,150, she's really not out of pocket much, right? Because she paid $1,500 in claims versus a $4,100 claim check. So it just kind of gives you a good perspective of how the policy works. Now, we offer you some great marketing tools. We don't want you to have to go out and recreate the wheel. And if you're currently contracted with Medico, you know about your Medico Information Center. We have done all the work for you. And right now, you can send all of this marketing material out to your current book of business. All the statistics that I gave you earlier around the financial security side of a hospital indemnity, they're all out there for you. We don't want you to have to recreate a wheel, right? We offer all of that stuff to you. So all you need to do is go out to your MIC. You can find all the customer offerings, and you can find other agent materials. So we know only, we didn't touch on our cancer plan, our standalone cancer plan, but you can find out more information about our dental, vision, and hearing. You can find more about our cancer, more about our hospital indemnity. You can find out more about the offerings from Medico. Now, again, let's talk about some commission, because I just kind of want to play this for you just so you understand how much money you're leaving at the table if you're not offering this. If you sold for 44 weeks, one application, 44 weeks, that gives you vacations, it gives you time off with your family, whatever, just 44 weeks, not 52. One of these plans, your average commission over a year is going to be $10,000. One application for 44 weeks, average commission is going to be $10,000 on an annual basis. Now, if you go into it and you sell 80 applications during AEP, because of course during AEP you're already educating your clients on products and solutions to meet their needs based on what they're doing. And I understand we don't like to give them too much information because it makes their head swim. But if you sold 80 during AEP, 50% of those customers you sold a hospital indemnity to, you're going to get an additional almost $10,000 in commission. So 44 weeks, one application, going into AEP, you do 50% of them, people that you talk to, you're going to get another $10,000. So your grand total commission just on hospital indemnity alone is going to be roughly about $20,000. Now, commission's great, but incentive really sweetens the pot. So Medico offers a second quarter hospital indemnity incentive as well as a MedSup incentive. So let's talk about that because it just started yesterday. Happy April Fools. But it did just start yesterday. So the first part of our agent incentive program is all based around the Medicare supplement payout. So if you go to the next screen, it's going to talk about the MedSup. So the MedSup is a qualifier on a monthly basis. You must write 5 qualifying MedSup applications a month and we're going to pay you back to the very first application. Any underwritten application that you qualify with is going to be $100. Any non-underwritten Medicare application is actually going to be $10. And it's a qualifier on a monthly basis. So good money there on our MedSup payout. But let's talk about our hospital indemnity agent incentive program. Man, I'll tell you what, it's a quarterly qualifier, and it is rich. It is rich because right now you're sitting at the very beginning of the quarter. You have a phone, and you can start dialing. Start dialing. If you sell 3 hospital indemnity applications in the quarter, you are a qualifier. And for all of those applications, I'm going to pay you $25 up to $9, all retroactive based on that very first one. Okay, $25 for applications 3 through 9, retroactive back to the very first one. If you sell 14, I'm going to give you $35 per application, again, retroactive back to that very first one. If you sell up to 24 applications, I'm going to give you $50 of incentive money, all retroactive back to that very first hospital indemnity application for the quarter. And if you sell more than 25, I'm going to give you $60 per application, again, all retroactive back. You have 68 selling days in this quarter, and that takes away your weekends and any holidays. 68 left in this quarter. I'm sure that you could probably write at least a half of an application a day. If that's the case, that's 34 applications. Well, let's do quick math. That's going to be roughly about $2,000. Let me just verify my math. It's $2,040 just in incentive money for half of the hospital indemnity application for each selling day. You can totally do it. It's totally possible. Now, I do want to thank you all for listening to my Dog and Pony Show, but the next slide is going to tell you the first step to be able to do business with Medico is you really got to get contracted. If you're not contracted, get a hold of John, fill out your contracting link, and then once you are appointed with Medico, you're going to download My Enroller. You download that on a desktop, a laptop, or an iPad. You'll get into your Medico Information Center, and that's where you're going to find the link to be able to download it, or the information on your welcome letter is going to actually show you that as well. And then you're going to go visit every single one of the clients that you have in your book of business. We have a whole nother month of selling over the phone, and this is the greatest opportunity for you as an agent to pivot the way you sell. So I wish you good luck, happy spring, happy agent incentive with Medico, and John, I'm going to throw this baby back over to you.
Awesome, Kelly. Thank you. Your presentation, as always, spectacular. No questions showing up. I'm going to remind people that much of the material that we covered during this presentation so far will be sent to them as part of the follow-up. But I've got a few additional things I want to run through really quickly as to how an agent gets even more by working with us here at Premier with Medico, and that includes a way of creating an agent profile and electronic contracting so you can keep all your contracting information in a singular place, your E&O coverage, answers to all the questions you see on contracts, your licensing information. It'll kick you a reminder when that license comes due. And it's a great way to contract with multiple organizations, multiple carriers, I should say, electronically and get away from that carpal tunnel. We also offer a way for an independent agent to protect themselves through discounted E&O. This is a program that covers you regardless of whom you're contracting through. Obviously, here at Premier, we'd like as much of your business as possible, but we realize there are other organizations out there soliciting your business, and we don't contract with everybody either, but this will cover you regardless of whom you contract with and through, and we help you keep that license in place with our discounted bundles of continuing education through WebCE, and an opportunity for you to add disability income to your own portfolio of benefits through a modified guarantee issue plan at discounted rates where you share in the commission. We do a ton of these different trainings, and they are generally all recorded. You can access them off of premiersmi.com under the webinar training video link. They're also available on our YouTube channel, and I do have a singular sheet with all of them if you really want to get overwhelmed with it. But it's a great way to take the information that we got today and realize there are ways that once again free to examine the world and do some things face to face, we have programs that can help support that and other things that will help you with electronic selling as well. One of those is the tool that's available here without cost to our agents. It does act as a quoting tool for Medicare Supplement, but it also gives you information on Medicare Advantage and PDP programs and other ancillary benefits as well. If you're selling an MA plan, or even if you're selling a Medicare Supplement program that doesn't require the electronic or the scope of appointment, utilizing this program to collect that data gives you a predisposition of topics to discuss because it lays them all out. You're opening up an overall conversation thereafter, but it's a great way then to add on the hospital indemnity programs and dental programs as part of the process. Keep in mind, if you're talking Medicare product outside of the Medicare Supplement world, the final expense programs that are offered on this quote engine are a separate appointment. That's that little compliance bugaboo. But one of the things we really like about this, as Kelly mentioned, if you sold 80 people during AEP and you're calling back through to help them with additional needs or solicit additional business or just to check on them, which is a great call right now, you can pull up the base program in the Medicare Advantage world and add on a hospital indemnity program through this program on a program that's called Fill the Holes. We have a little video that will come to you as part of the presentation that instructs you as to just how you do that. Or let's say you go into a household to quote Medicare Supplement programs, you have a Medicare Advantage plan that they're not going to change from even though you gave a brilliant presentation. It helps you then fill those daily hospital copays with a hospital indemnity plan utilizing this software. Actually, in the video, the HIP program we use as an example is Medico's. It gives you an opportunity to utilize electronic tools across the board as well. Our CSG actuarial is also demonstrated here on this YouTube channel, and we do offer online application programs for Medicare Advantage and PDP programs through our Medicare Center program too that can act as a mini CRM and stores your scopes as well. We have different programs to help you market social media. And as Kelly mentioned, we want to make certain that you know of all the incentives that are available to you for your marketing activity. We have them clustered here on our website. And then the programs that are offered through Medico also help you qualify for Premier's Producer Convention, in addition to all the incentives that are available to you through Medico. This year's trip was to be a cruise from Miami to the Bahamas. We all know what COVID-19 did to our little bit of adventure that way, but there's next year, and that trip will come to you soon. We have some different programs that can help you reach out to people. A contact list butted up against the do not call list is available to you. As we're able to market the centers of influence in the community, that can happen, but those are good points to go to right now as well. Working with churches or providers in the community, helping them alleviate some of the questions they have on extra help for prescription drugs or other programs can make you an invaluable resource now. Carriers periodically will generate leads available as well. We do have a great Facebook lead program from the internet, particularly well-tested, well-vetted in the final expense world, coming out in the Medicare world as well. And we do offer direct mail support based on production, where it drives that cost down of that tried and true program month after month, day after day. All that said, we want the opportunity to work with you and earn your business. And it's a question then, as John Wayne said in the movie The Cowboys, we're burned in daylight. Is this going to be a part of your personal marketing plan? If it is, let's get it in play. Let's talk to your agent success manager with Premier. Let's work up a plan. Let's get it rolling. And that will take us into additional revenue with systems from Medico that'll help you be socially distant, but still effective with all the electronic means you have to solicit and enroll business. You can reach any of us here at Premier at 1-800-365-8208 or through our website at premiersmi.com. Watch for the follow-up information that will be sent to you as including the link in the presentation you have seen today in the reference material. And we thank you for the investment of your time in our webinar today. All that said, until we visit with you the next time, we wish you good selling. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.